Welcome to the deep dive. Okay, so today our mission is taking all your source material on Rotorua, New Zealand, and really distilling it down to the essential knowledge you need. We're heading to a place where, well, the earth is literally boiling under your feet, and ancient culture really defines the landscape.
It's quite a place.
Yeah, Rotorua. It's famous for these really dramatic, sometimes pretty surreal sights. But what jumps out from the sources is this tension, you know? You've got massive geological forces right alongside this deep Maori history and tradition. It's not just like a spot for tourists. It feels alive.
Yeah.
Defined by that duality.
That tension is absolutely key. Rotorua is smack bang in the middle of the country's most active geothermal zone. That's why we call it Sulphur City.
You can smell it.
Oh, you definitely smell it the moment you arrive. But just as defining is its cultural identity. Roughly a third of the population is Maori. It makes it, the premier place in Rotorua to really experience and understand that heritage.
Okay, right. Let's unpack this then. For this deep dive, we're focusing on three key areas, sort of pillars. First, that incredible boiling geology and how the city, lives with it. Second, the surprisingly calm natural walks and sacred waters nearby. And finally, balancing that deep cultural learning with some pretty extreme adventure.
Yeah, we absolutely have to start with the ground itself. What's really fascinating, I think, is how Rotorua offers both ends of the spectrum. You have these highly managed, spectacular paid geothermal parks, but then you're also kind of forced to confront the same power for free there in the city.
Okay, so planning a trip. What's the actual difference between those paid parks? They sound similar, mud pools, steam, but the sources hint they're for different people.
Exactly. They cater to slightly different interests. If you want pure visual drama, like amazing colors, Waiotapu Thermal Wonderland is probably your best bet. It really lives up to the Wonderland name. Vivid sulfur lakes, silica terraces, and it has the country's biggest mud pool.
And that geyser.
Right, the Lady Knox geyser. It erupts daily, reliably shoots water maybe 20 meters up. It's pure spectacle, designed for photos,
Okay, and then Waimangu Volcanic Valley. That sounds more scientific, less flashy.
Correct. Waimangu is ecologically unique. It's actually the world's youngest geothermal system. It was literally born from the Mount Tarawera eruption back in 1886. So you get these huge hot water lakes, craters, silica formations. It's more for someone wanting to understand geology, ecosystem recovery. The walks are longer too, up to 4 hours.
Right. And Hell's Gate, that sounds intense.
It is. It's Rotorua's most active park. And it's famous specifically for getting in it. The mud baths, the sulfur spas, that's the main draw after the guided walk.
Yeah.
Very hands-on or maybe body on.
Yeah. But one thing the sources really push, which might surprise people, is how much geothermal activity happens outside these paid areas. That's the real Sulphur City experience, maybe.
It really is. You don't always need a ticket. Kirau Park, it's right in the middle of town. You just walk in and boom, bubbling mud pools, boiling lakes, free. It shows how the city just grew around it all.
And those foot baths.
Yeah. The Kirau Park foot bath, public, naturally heated. You just sit down, soak your feet, powered by the earth. It's a fantastic little cultural insight, totally free.
It really puts it in perspective. The whole city, even the main lake, Lake Rotorua itself, it's sitting in an old volcanic crater, steam still coming up from the vents below.
Exactly. It's built on the volcano, essentially.
Okay. That's a great transition then. From that, intense boiling ground to the calmer natural spaces right next door. Let's talk forests. The Wakarawera Redwoods Forest comes up constantly.
Oh, it's huge. Over 5,600 hectares. And filled with these absolute massive Californian redwoods planted over a century ago.
They look incredible in the pictures.
They are. And here's an interesting bit from the sources. They actually grow faster and taller in Rotorua than in California.
Really?
It's that rich volcanic soil, plus the climate. It's just perfect for them. So they often get over 70 meters tall there.
Wow. So the same geology that gives you boiling mud also feeds these giant trees. Amazing.
It's an outdoor lover's dream, really. Lots of walking tracks from 30 minutes up to maybe 75 minutes. Plus, it's world famous for mountain biking routes.
And that tree walk, the suspended path.
Yeah, the Redwoods Tree Walk. It takes you right up into the canopy. A totally different perspective. Pretty popular.
Okay, moving from trees to water. The lakes near Rotorua also seem really significant, both geologically and culturally, especially those contrasting colored lakes.
Right, the Blue Lake and the Green Lake. You can actually see them both from one viewing spot, which is pretty cool.
Tikitapu and Rotokakahi, officially. So the Blue Lake, Tikitapu. That one's clear blue, good for swimming, fishing, that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's the recreational one. The color comes from pumice and stuff called liberite on the lake bed.
But the Green Lake, Rotokakahi, that's different. That's where the cultural aspect really comes in, isn't it?
Absolutely critical. Its green color comes from freshwater mussels, kakahi. But the key thing is, this lake is tapu.
Sacred Maori land.
Exactly. And tapu means access is highly restricted. No swimming, no fishing. Strictly prohibited. It's a really powerful reminder that not all of this beauty is just there for us to use. Some of it is for reverence.
That's such an important point for anyone visiting, understanding that concept of tapu. Okay, so for people wanting other peaceful water experiences, Hamarana Springs gets mentioned.
Yeah, Hamarana Springs, known for its almost magical blue and turquoise water under redwood trees again. You can do guided or unguided walks there. Very serene.
And for a proper hike with a geothermal reward.
Then you've got the Tarawera Trail. It's actually being talked about as a future New Zealand Great Walk. It's a decent hike, maybe 5 or 6 hours one way. And the payoff, it ends at Hot Water Beach. You can literally dig your own hot pool in the sand right by the lake. A perfect mix of effort and natural spa.
Nice. Hike, then soak. Sounds perfect. Okay, we've hit the geothermal stuff, the natural walks. Now let's get into Rotorua's other big duality. It's this major cultural learning hub and a serious adventure playground. Given what you just said about the sacred Green Lake, the depth of the Maori cultural experiences must be, well, essential to understand Rotorua properly.
Totally non-negotiable, I'd say. And for those really wanting depth history, archaeology, immersive storytelling, there are standout options. Te Patu, which used to be the Tamaki Maori village, is always highlighted. It's New Zealand's most awarded cultural attraction, apparently. It's a structured, 4-hour experience.
Yeah.
Focuses on sharing history, songs, drama, and the seasonal Kai traditional food.
What makes it stand out in the sources?
Seems to be its commitment to historical accuracy and educational quality. It sets a pretty high bar.
Right, and if you want to combine culture directly with the geology again.
Then Te Puia is the place. That complex has both the Maori Arts and Crafts Institute and the Putu geyser. The big, reliable one. It erupts maybe 20 times a day.
So you get the carving, the weaving, and the earth's power all in one spot. Convenient.
Very. And then there are other experiences too. Mitai often gets recommended, especially for its night performance, the cultural show, and Wakari Werwa, that's the living Maori village. It's unique because it actually shows how families have traditionally used the geothermal heat for cooking. You can even try food cooked in the steaming ground, like an egg.
Cooking eggs in the ground, that's pretty cool. Okay, that's a great range of cultural options. But now, let's switch gears completely. Rotorua, the adventure playground. It sounds pretty intense. Is it all just extreme stuff?
It definitely leans into the extreme, but there's variety.
Yeah.
The absolute top end, that's whitewater rafting on the Kekuna River. That's where you raft over Tutia Falls. It's 7 meters high, that's 23 feet. It's the world's highest commercially rafted waterfall.
Wow, okay, that's definitely for adrenaline junkies. Seriously extreme.
Yeah, that's the peak. But you can get gravity thrills in, let's say, slightly safer ways too.
Like,
well, there's the ZORB, right? Rolling down a hill in a giant inflatable ball. Always looks hilarious. Then Skyline Rotorua has multiple luge tracks, sort of like go-karts, but downhill on tracks. And Velocity Valley has the Vertigo, which is a 43-meter free-fall swing.
Okay, still pretty thrilling. But the sources also mentioned unique ways to just get around and see things. More than just thrills.
Yeah, that's a good point. The transport itself can be the adventure. Like the Rotorua duck tours.
Why duck tours?
You travel in these old World War II amphibious vehicles. You drive on the road and then just splash straight into the lake. Pretty quirky.